All right, welcome, guys. This is Breakfast with the Brand, the number one podcast in the world for entrepreneurs and leaders who want to go from bland to industry leading brand. If you are tuned in live, go ahead and put your flames in the chat. I want to send a quick shout out to Facebook. So if you're in the Billion Dollar Brand group, then go ahead, put your comments in, put your flames in. And if you're on YouTube, do the same thing as well. I see Shade, Travis, a few other people here. Phenomenal morning to you. And with me, I have Mr. Bobby Jackson. Hey, Bobby, what's up? How you feeling, brother?
Oh, another phenomenal morning. It's a great day. We had a phenomenal call yesterday, so I can only expect the best today. We see Travis in the chat. I see a couple of other individuals in the chat. So it's gonna be a great call. How about you? How you doing this morning?
Oh man, I feel good. And here's the thing, Bobby. This is what I always say. When I call people, when people call me, they ask me how I'm doing. I say I'm absolutely phenomenal. I feel like $1 million man with $1 billion plan.
Whew.
And that's my thing.
Let's go.
I feel
Yeah.
like $1 million man with $1 billion plan.
You
And that's
can't
how
go
I
wrong.
feel.
Can't go
No,
wrong with that.
no, sir. No, sir.
Mhm.
Guys, listen. Yesterday we spoke about speaking. We got into a little bit of marketing, but today's actually marketing day. Today's Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. And on Thursdays, we talk about marketing. So just to bring you guys up to speed, Monday is about branding, Tuesday is about coaching. I believe Wednesday is about speaking, Thursday is about marketing, and Friday we talk about sales. Friday we talk about sales. So today is actually marketing. And Bobby, I suspect I'm gonna turn over the questions to you because I suspect you may have a lot of questions for me, and I love the way that you ask the questions because I feel like they really help the audience. They really help the audience. So I'm gonna let you ask me a couple questions because this is my expertise, and let's get into it, man. Whenever you're ready.
Oh man, absolutely. So with marketing, I think that one of the most mystifying parts of marketing is what is the purpose of it? What is the purpose of it? So that's one preface, but I want to ask you a more direct question so that everybody in the audience can answer this for themselves at the end of the question. So everybody should be able to answer for themselves why they're marketing and who they're marketing to by the end of this question. So the question is, what is the purpose of marketing in a business, and how do you know who to market your services and products to?
Oh man, this is a great question, Bobby. What is the purpose of marketing? Well, let's look at the definition of marketing. Marketing is the promotion of a company's services. And there's the key. And now, guys, if you look on my screen here, you see direct response. It's supposed to be direct. So direct marketing. There's a difference, and we have to put that distinction there because a lot of people they do promote their services, but for the people who really know, it's really not marketing. Let me explain. There's a difference between promotion. There's a difference between promotion and marketing. There's a difference. Marketing is promotion. Promotion is not necessarily marketing.
Mm,
Marketing is promotion. Promotion is not necessarily marketing. You can have a business and not have a brand. But if you have a brand, you have a business. You can have a business and not have a brand, or and you could have a brand, but that brand is a business. Every business is a brand. Every brand, every brand is a business. Every business is not a brand. Promotion is not marketing, but marketing involves promotion. So let me break that down. Marketing is defined as, well, by me, anyways, as the promotion of a company's goods and services in a way that is measurable, repeatable, measurable, trackable.
Mm,
If you cannot repeat it, if you cannot measure it, if you cannot track it, it's not marketing. It's advertising. So I'll give you an example. I love to use the example of the Goodyear blimp. So how many of you know about the Goodyear blimp? Put a number one in the chat. So if you watch the Super Bowl, sometimes during the halftime they'll pass over the stadium with a nice big blimp, the Goodyear tire stuff. People think that's marketing. That's not marketing. It's not marketing because how do you actually know how many people or the number of people who came into the Goodyear store as a result of seeing that blimp? How do you know? What metrics do you use? You see
mm,
what I'm saying, Bobby? There's no way to tell if Bobby walks into the store. Goodyear doesn't know if he saw the blimp. Goodyear, when you put out stuff on television, that's why they call television advertising and they don't call television marketing.
mm.
You don't know when you put out something on TV. You don't know who's coming into your store as a result of the ad they saw on TV. You could see an ad for Chick-fil-A in New York, fly to Manhattan, not Manhattan, excuse me, fly to LA and go to a Chick-fil-A in LA based on an ad you saw in New York. Does the store in LA
Yeah,
know that you saw the ad in New York? They don't
no,
know.
yeah.
They don't know. And that's why it's not marketing, it's advertising.
So really
Marketing.
quick, Junior,
Yeah.
because I feel like somebody might have this question.
Okay.
how do how can they tell if they are marketing or advertising? And that's the simple question, because I feel like a lot of people think that they're marketing but they're really advertising. So is there like a step-by-step process, or like a 1 2 3 that someone could do in their business to say, ooh, I've been advertising, I need to switch, I need to switch?
That's right. Well, number one, Bobby, you have to be able to track it. There has to be some kind of number. You have to be able to track it in marketing. So you
Okay,
have
I'm
to put
writing this
out.
down.
That's right. That's right. So something that is a piece of marketing, it has a clear objective. It has a clear call to action. It is speaking to a specific audience. So when you look at a Chick-fil-A ad or any kind of ad for that matter, McDonald's, they're not necessarily talking to any audience, are they? I mean, you could sort of tell they might put a clown or something in there, and then you could say, well, maybe this is for kids, but they're not really specifically saying this is for this particular audience. So in direct response marketing, we talk to a specific audience about a specific thing, and there has to be a call to action because that's how you're going to tell. So, for example, a specific call to action says, "Hey guys, click this link to do this." So you
Yeah,
know that they're coming from the link. You can track how many people are coming from the specific link. When you put a blimp in the sky, there's no link. There's no unless there's some kind of QR code or something like that. There's no way to track who's coming from where. So
right.
I would say the most important distinction is to have some kind of measure to be able to track the performance of your promotion piece, and that's what's going to get you into marketing. So you have to have some kind of link, some kind of unique identifier, a link, a QR code, something that's going to distinguish the piece from other pieces.
Man, man, I think you crushed that answer. Crushed that answer. Can you lean a little bit into the second piece of the question, as far as how can people know who they should be marketing to? Because with direct response marketing, it sounds like you have to be very specific, because you
Yep.
don't want to waste your resources. And I feel like sometimes in business we can be specific on the problem we want to solve, but we don't always know who has that problem. And I think that's something that's really important. So, what can we do to ensure that we're marketing to the right people?
Oh man, Bobby, that's a so let me put it this way. So a couple months ago, a client came to me with the same problem.
Mm,
She was in a particular kind of luxury business, and she's been trying to work the business for the past 10 years.
Wow.
Past 10 years. And she had this same question. I don't feel like I'm talking to the right people. And then I said to myself, how can I create something that is easy, that is simple, that allows people to know exactly who they should speak to? Something like a litmus test.
Yeah.
And Bobby, lo and behold, I've done it. I figured it out. So
Really?
check this out. I've been able, and guys, if you don't know, people can take months, maybe years to figure out who their ideal client is.
Yeah.
Most people never even consider the concept of the ideal client until it's too late. What I'm about to show you right now is the absolute key to nailing down the ideal client. Your
Mm,
ideal client exists at the intersection of four things. And guys, you should write this down, four things. Now, if I had a whiteboard, I would literally draw it and I would literally draw, and you could do this, draw one line down the middle, one line across. It exists at the intersection of four things. Number one, so the first thing, who are you best fitted to serve? Number one, who are you best fitted to serve? You could do this like a checklist as well. Who are you best fitted to serve? Who can you provide the most value to? And this has to be based on your education, your experience, and your expertise. So if you spend 20 years doing HR, don't tell me that now you're going to become a consultant for somebody in the oil industry. Like that doesn't make no sense. What is your education? And education could be formal and non-formal, right? What is your education? What do you actually know, right? What is your experience? What have you actually done? And what is your expertise? What are you actually good at? Based on those three things, who are you best fitted to serve? Now, that's the first piece.
yeah.
And now that piece alone is already pretty clear,
Yeah.
pretty clear. But let's go even deeper. So you're going to have a vague idea at this point. So you're going to say, well, I was in HR for 20 years and I did this and I have 20 years experience in HR. And then boom, you're like, okay, well, maybe I could serve HR professionals. Okay, cool. And you don't have to serve HR professionals. That's fine. So you go to the next piece. The next piece is, what do they call themselves?
Mm,
So what do they actually call themselves? Do they refer to themselves as lawyers? Do they refer to themselves as speakers? Do they refer to themselves as consultants? Do they refer to themselves as entrepreneurs, real estate agents? What do they actually call themselves?
mm,
The third piece is, what do they actually want? What do they desire? So what do they actually want? Most people, Bobby, let me
man,
let
you
me pause
crush.
on this one. Let me pause on this one, brother.
Yeah.
Most people don't know what their people want.
Mm,
They
mm,
just don't. They know what they want. They know what they want to give them. So for example, guy comes to me, I want to do a coaching business. I say, phenomenal. What do your people want? He don't
yeah.
know. He knows that he wants to do a coaching business. He doesn't know what the audience wants.
Hmm.
And most of the times, the audience want the thing that sells the thing. That's where it comes in. So you're saying, well, I want to help professional women to find more success.
Right.
Maybe professional women don't want more success. Maybe they want something else. Maybe they want freedom. How about that? Maybe they want to live a life that they can travel. They want to experience entrepreneurship. You don't know. And the only way you will know is through market research, like you were saying. So, what does your audience actually want?
Sheesh. Man, I'm gonna put an asterisk next to that one because that leans into a little bit of what we said yesterday. So if you didn't watch yesterday's call, you definitely want to go watch what we did yesterday concerning communication. What do we have at number 4, Junior? We have it number
This is the best one. I saved the best for last. Who can actually pay you?
4. Man,
Who can actually pay you? Gentleman comes to me. He says, I want to help, let's say, the male population. I want to work with young men to help them create a better life. Well, buddy, that's phenomenal. but young men can't pay you.
Right.
So are the young men the ideal client? No. The organizations that work with young men are, and this is the very small distinctions, Bobby. So
Yeah.
somebody may say, well, I want to work with young men to help them create a better life. And then what do? They start, boom, all of their marketing to young men, young men, young men, young men. Well, guess what? You're not going to win. It's impossible to win because the young men cannot pay you. They're young, they don't have money.
Yeah.
They're not the ideal client. They may be the ideal beneficiaries, but they're not the ideal client.
Mm.
Now,
Hold on, Junior. Did you say they might be the ideal beneficiaries, but
yes,
they're
sir.
not the ideal client? Ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen,
sir.
that that's a 10,025, no exaggeration, $25,000 answer right there. Because if you can identify your ideal beneficiary and separate them, you'll save yourself a ton of time. Come on,
Bro,
Junior.
that's enough
Are we due
headache.
for a break? Hold on.
Hold
Hold on.
on.
I'm
I think
getting
we're
excited.
overdue for a break.
I was getting excited.
Oh man, Bobby, you know what? Let me just wrap this up and then we'll go to a quick break. Okay?
Yes.
Guys, by the way, put it in the chat. What is your top takeaway right now? Are you learning something from this? And by the way, share this out. If you're learning something from this, share this out. This is what I would tell one of my clients if we were working one on one. This is what I'll tell you. This information that I'm giving Bobby right now. Listen, guys, let me break this down, Bobby. So, who can actually pay you? You have to be able to separate the beneficiaries of the service from the person that's actually paying you. Now, check out. This is very interesting. The ideal client, which in that scenario, that example is the organization. They want something different from the young men. They have a different desire from the young men, and you have to figure out what that is and give it to them. But if all of your marketing is going to the wrong audience, so they have everything right. So who are they best fitted to serve? They're best fitted to serve young men. Okay, great. What do they call themselves? They call themselves young entrepreneurs. Okay, great. What do they want? They want to live a better life. Okay, great. Who can actually pay you? Mm. Listen, if one of those boxes is not ticked, so in other words, if you find somebody that can pay you, you know what they want, you know what they call themselves, but your education, your experience, your expertise doesn't allow them to serve you, they're not your ideal client. If you find
Wow.
somebody that you can serve, if you find somebody that they can pay you, right? If you know what they call themselves, but you cannot reach them, you don't know what they want, or you can't give them what they want, they're not your ideal client. Any one of those three boxes, there's four boxes that you don't have ticked, that person is not. They're not the ideal client. They're really not. Guys, stay tuned. When we come back, I'm going to go even deeper because there's more to the ideal client. There's more to the ideal audience that most of you don't know. The stuff that I'm telling you right now, this is the stuff that the experts don't know and what all of the gurus won't tell you. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back very soon.
I'm just a kid from Harlem who God chose to show his favor. Themselves while improving the lives of others. It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. I said Shaan Rais. I'm proud. I said Shaan Rais. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Shaan, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for.
All right, guys, I believe that we are back. What's up, Bobby? How you feeling, man?
Feeling great, feeling great. When I say you are laying down some things for us this morning that I think is going to make somebody in the audience a lot of money. I think somebody in the audience is going to make some money this month.
Bro, put it in the chat, guys. How many of you want to make money today? Put it in the chat. Man, listen. What I'm sharing with you guys right now, I've not heard it anywhere else. Not in this way, at least. Not in this way. Bobby, if you think that is the only piece, it goes a lot deeper than that.
Yeah.
Like, guys, listen to me. If you can take what I'm saying right now and you could implement it, you have to try not to make money. Yo, Bobby, I've heard people have come to me. They said they spend 15,000, 10,000, 15,000, however much. And bro, they got absolutely nothing. They didn't get half the value that I delivered in 10 minutes. Guys, listen. The ideal client exists at the intersection of four things. Who are you best fitted to serve? What do they call themselves? What do they want? And who can pay you? If the audience that you selected ticks the four boxes, you have the ideal client. You have a draft.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And to the people that are here right now, this will be the one and only time that I'll be giving away this information. So please write it down and use it for your business. So Bobby, not only do they have to take these four boxes, there are a couple other boxes. In fact, one huge box that they have to tick. You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Yo, they have to be reachable. Guys, write this down. Reachable. Easily reachable. Meaning you have to be able to reach them easily. What's the point of having a profile if you cannot reach them? What's the point? So don't tell me your ideal client is somewhere in Alaska or somebody who's not on the internet. How do you reach them? So the audience has to be reachable. The audience has to be a growing audience, meaning that the market is getting larger every year, not shrinking.
Right.
They have to be reachable in a way that is measurable, in a way that is predictable, and at a reasonable price. So you have to be able to reach them at a reasonable price in a way that is repeatable, predictable, measurable.
Junior, one thing that I'd like to throw out there for my high C's, for the C's in the building, those individuals that are very analytical and calculated. Everything that you're saying is tying back to what I identify as KPIs in the world of economics and business developments. And what I think is very interesting is that you cannot build a business that is sustainable without having data. So the question that I have for you, Junior, is how many businesses have you seen try to run marketing campaigns and build out marketing messages with no data to do so?
Bro, like 90%, 90%, 90% of businesses.
Wow.
Yeah, most people, let me tell you something. It said that 90% of businesses fail.
Yeah.
The first step of a business is getting customers in the door. That's it. Listen, like people talk about systems, people talk about all this stuff. Listen, if you start in your business, the only thing you need is to bring money in. Business equals money in. That's it. Business doesn't mean no system, it means money in the bank. And the way you bring money in the bank is through marketing, sales and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So most of them fail because they cannot attract clients fast enough in volumes large enough to get sales.
Yeah.
So your business might be starving for clients, and that's a problem. Because remember, Bobby, you have churn. There's something called churn. So, guys, check this. People think, yo, and I'm so happy you asking me these questions because it's bringing a lot of light to like the realities of business. And guys, put it in the chat. How many of you are learning something from this? Let me know. And if you're learning something from this, please share this out. There's something called churn. Churn means you're going to lose customers. Every business loses customers, and your churn could be different. So let's say you have 10 customers, you're losing one customer every month, and you're attracting one new customer every 3 months. You can do the calculation for how fast you're gonna go out of business. You go out of business in how many, like maybe like 3 4 months. So if your churn is 10% and your rate of attraction is one every 3 months, which is I don't know, but definitely not 10%. if
Right.
you're losing customers faster than you're acquiring customers, then you go out of business. And that has to do with your marketing, which has to do with the foundation, which starts with the ideal client, which starts with the messaging. But how can you have a messaging if you don't know the ideal client? So for me, when I coach, I start from the foundation because if you don't have the foundation, nothing else is right. It's not sustainable.
Junior, with what you put down for us this morning, I'm I'm starting to see something that I want to break down for people in the audience because I think it'll make a light bulb go off for you. I want you to think about how many entrepreneurs you know that you can call on the phone and talk to. And then I want you to think about how many times you all are having this conversation. And I'm going to tell you why I have you ask this question to yourself, right? The answer may be, oh, I got 5, 6, 7 entrepreneurs that I know personally that I could call. However, all of the entrepreneurs that I call, none of us have this conversation. So what does this mean? This goes back to something that Les Brown said that stuck with me. He might not be the originator of this statement, but he said that you earn the sum average of the people you hang around. Meaning, if I hang around people that are making $50,000 a year, I'm likely going to be making $45,000 to $55,000 a year. Let's tie this all back to business, all back to marketing. In an industry, you are supposed to be, if you are a skilled and effective entrepreneur, you're supposed to be immersed in your industry. What I see 90% of the time is people skipping rocks in the industry. Like they're on top of the industry and they're just bouncing around trying to make sales. They're not submersed. They're not in it. They don't understand it. And when I turn this question over to Junior, the way I ask it should help a lot of us. So I want you to think 3 things now. 1, who do you call when you need to talk to someone about business? 2, how often do you guys conversate about marketing? And then 3, are you submerged in the industry? Junior, to what degree have you had to immerse yourself in your industry, in marketing, in understanding the psychology of your clients for you to be an effective copywriter, an effective messenger, and an effective signaler? Were you able to just do that fly by night, or did it require a degree of entrenchment?
Bro, definitely entrenched, man. I'm definitely in. I'm still in the trenches right now. I haven't
Mm,
left. I haven't left. I'm still on the ground. I'm still boots on the ground, and I'm learning every day.
mm,
I've been in this industry for the past, I'd say, about 5 years now, almost 5 years, and I'm learning every day, man. I'm learning every day. I'm learning every day. So I would say that, and this is a great concept that you're bringing up, and I want to give a different perspective on the same concept. So Bobby is right. Like, you have to be immersed in your industry, and the reason why, let me tell you why. You have to know the subtleties of your industry, and I want to give everybody here a big tip. If you want to make money, not fast, not quick money, but money for sure money, find a small group of clients, a small pool of ideal clients, and learn how to sell to them. Don't try to market to the world. I see people, they're trying to market to the world, man. Like, no, find like 20, 30 people in a little group, learn how to sell to the little group, use it as a pilot project. Once you figure out how to sell to them, then go large and try figure out how to sell to the world. It'll make it a lot easier. It will relieve your stress, the stress of trying to sell to a million people. Yo, just get a couple people, figure out how they work, and then once you figure out how they work, take it to a broader audience.
mhm,
Now, Bobby, to answer your question, definitely had to emerge myself, and you have to emerge yourself because you want to know the numbers and you want to learn what works in your ecosystem and in your industry. The numbers for the coaching industry might be different for the numbers in another industry, in the gym industry, for example. So if I'm on the phone, I could like effectively tell you, Bobby, if you're in the coaching industry and you're on the phone, consulting, coaching, that type of stuff, if you're on the phone, you can expect a percentage conversion rate, if you're good, between 2 to 5%.
mhm.
Meaning that if you're on the phone and you're making calls, if you call 100 people, if you're good, this is if you're good, if you know what you're doing, between 2 to 5 people will set appointments with you for every 100 people that you call. But the only way I could know that information is if I'm in the industry, if I'm in it. So
Right.
I already know when I get on the phone, I already know, okay, if I call 100 people, I'm guaranteed to set at least 2 appointments, 2 to 5 appointments, 5 appointments on a phenomenal day. The 5 appointments now. And what does this do? So let's say the average, and this goes back into the math. So check this out. Let me adjust my mic.
Mhm,
If Now you have to know the value of your time as an entrepreneur. So for me, let's say the value of my time. Let's just say $1,000, for example. If I charge $1,000 for 1 hour of my time, and I'm taking 4 hours to make 100 calls, it means that I've spent $4,000. Follow me. I've spent $4,000. Money is not like, guys. Money is evidence for the exchange of energy. Money is a combination of time, a solidification of time, solidification. So if I spend 4 hours on the phone, if I charge $1,000 per hour, I'm spending $4,000 per day to set 2 to 5 appointments. Now let's say I set 5 appointments per day. In our industry, the normal show up rate for calls is 30%. So that means that if you set 10 appointments, only 3 of these appointments will most likely show. You'll get 3 that just don't show for no reason, no show, no call, no reason. You get another 3 that may reschedule, and then you have 3 that'll show up on that day. So maybe, like I said, 10, right? So maybe like 4 won't show, 3 will reschedule, and another 3 will actually show up. Out of the 3, if you have a closing rate of, let's say, 50% or 60%, you close two, it means that for every $4,000 you spend, you close two clients, right? In fact, let's say 8,000. For every 8,000 hours, $8,000, you close two clients. This is where you need to know your numbers. If each client is bringing you, let's say, $500, then you've wasted your time because it means that you've acquired your client at a loss. That means you need to have your product, you need to be able to raise your prices so that your cost of customer acquisition is less than what you're making from your client. Does
Mm,
everybody follow that? So basically, Bobby, you need to tally your time, find out how many customers are you going to acquire based on the time you spend, and make sure that the customers you're acquiring are paying you more for the time that you spend working. But you cannot know these numbers. You cannot know these numbers if you're not doing the work.
yeah, out there. And Junior, I don't know if we may have an answer for this question today, but I'm going to raise it. I'm going to raise it so we can put it in the ether. Right.
Okay.
Right. But what should an entrepreneur do that is building their business on the side and also trying to do business right? Because if I hear this properly, it's intensive. Most of the entrepreneurs that are building their business on the side are building it after they get off of a 9 to 5. So they've already worked, 8 hours, and then they've got family. So now they've got a baby on the hip. They've got a husband or wife or significant other kind of talking to them across the distance. And you're telling them that you got to build your product, know your numbers, dig into the research, make 100 phone calls only to get 3. What do you tell somebody that is real? I know we're not in the business of, say, motivation for the sake thereof, but what do you tell someone that's real? Like, hey, this is what you need to do if you are really building a business from scratch as a part-time entrepreneur and you want to be successful and you understand the importance of marketing. Right.
Bobby, I have the answer for that question.
Let's
Guys, we're
go.
going to go to a short break. When we come back, I'm going to answer that question. Let's go.
I'm Jackie Miller, and I was really drawn to Shaan's personality from the moment that I did the Branding Like a Leader challenge. This was the free challenge that he offered. And I'm so glad that he offered it because I joined the class and I was blown away. First of all, by his giving personality. For me, it was the personality that really drew me in. But then as he was sharing his wealth of knowledge, I realized that there was so much that I didn't know. I already knew there was a lot I didn't know, but there was so much that I didn't know. And he was just freely giving this information. It was evident that he really wanted to help people. And as somebody who likes to help people, I connected with that. And then I was able to connect not only with Shaan, but then with his team, with Junior and with Jason, Mr. B, and just the entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond. One day, something had come up, and Junior he texted me just to see how I was doing, and that really touched my heart. So that relational piece is there. So if you were having any doubts about what Mr. Shaan Rais and his team with the brand can offer you, let me let you know. It is a treat and it is a joy, and you will not be disappointed.
So for me, it was pretty much learning a little bit more about how to communicate, how I can build my personal branding and my personal development. With me, I do a lot of nonprofit work. I also work at Salesforce. So just trying to find better ways that I can network, that I can make sure when I walk into a room that my presence is felt. I felt as if he had a lot of takeaways, especially how he dissected the chessboard and like the king, the queen, the rook, the knight. So I really like that personally, because I love chess too. Life is chess, the world is chess, it's not checkers. So that's what I really like about that.
All right, all right, all right, all right, guys. We are back here with Mr. Bobby Jackson. So, Bobby, let me go ahead and answer this question, right? So, your question was basically for somebody who's starting up, they don't necessarily have the time. They don't have 4 hours a day to get on the phone. They're not good at sales. Like, and this is what I did. I can walk you through my process a little bit,
Yeah.
bro. Unfortunately, or fortunately, you have to put in the work. You
Mm,
have to put in the work. Now, I'll give a nicer answer, right? An easier answer in a minute. But
yeah.
the truth is, you have to put in the work. I didn't get here overnight. I've been doing this for a couple of years. So you have to be able to put in the work to get that experience because you're going to need that experience to survive. Like when things get tough, like, yo, when money's low, if you don't have that experience in sales, if you don't have that experience in marketing, where you going to get it from? When you're an entrepreneur, nobody's coming to save you. Like Sean would say, you eat what you kill.
Mhm.
So if you don't know how to kill, if you don't know how to hunt, then guess what? You don't eat anything.
You don't make it.
Now that being said, I do want to give an easier answer. Well, you may consider it easier. This is what I had to learn. Leverage, attention, leverage your attention. So your goal as an entrepreneur should be to find a way to focus as much of your energy and attention on high leverage activities. In other words, instead of spending 4 hours on the phone, you could write one email in 45 minutes, 30 minutes that could book you more appointments than you could do in the 4 hours on the phone. And I've done it. I've written one email that books 7 appointments, 8 appointments in one day
Mm,
that could outperform me on the phone in less amount of time. So for the entrepreneur that wants to get started, now let's say you don't even have, let's say you're not a copywriter, what do? You find somebody who is. Yesterday on our podcast, I said you need free skills. You need to learn how to sell, you need to learn how to build, and you need to learn how to lead. You're going to have to find a way to get somebody who's good at copy to create emails for you, to send it out to set your appointments. It comes back to leadership, Bobby.
yeah. Yeah.
It comes back to leadership. Where there's a will, there's a way. You either have to either you pay them or you strike some kind of deal with them where you give them a percentage of the profit.
Mhm.
But then again, you need to know how to sell when they actually get on the call with you.
Right.
Or you have somebody, you put somebody on the phone that can set appointments for you. You
Mhm.
hire a VA who can write emails. You hire a VA who could set appointments. You pay them something and you have them do the work. If you have absolutely no money at all, then unfortunately you have to learn to do that yourself. Or you have to be able to sell somebody on the vision or the dream of them getting a percentage, a large percentage of the profit once you all make that money. And that is how you go about doing that.
Junior, I love that response because in the disruption and innovation space, right, there is a lot of business development that is going on. And I want to take maybe 2 minutes, if that, to in, to introduce urgency to the community. So everybody that's watching right now, you're at a stage in your business, and I want you to, like, if I'm telling, trying to find a good way to say this, if I'm not being honest, may lightning strike me if what I say is not honest. When you go online, social media, YouTube, Google, any of these things, and you type in business, starting a business, building a business, some of the top things that come up is sales, marketing, branding, and closing. Those are some of the most common services. There's marketing agencies just about everywhere. There's people saying that they're branding just about everywhere. There's people that saying we do appointment setting just about everywhere. Everywhere you turn, you see it. Now, I want to tell you guys something very deep and important about this, and we are going to go deep, but I know you guys are with me. I think y'all are going to be okay. So check this out. The economy has cycles. And in these cycles, you will see disruptive waves, you'll see efficiency waves, and you'll see sustainability waves. And what Junior is giving us right now is something that is unique because it's in all three of them. When you market effectively, you are highly disruptive to an industry. When you market effectively, you can increase efficiency within your marketing strategy. And when you market effectively, you create sustainability for your industry. Now, or for your market in the industry, your business within the industry. Now, the urgency piece is this. When there is a lot of competition, there is low prices. And low prices is good for people that are purchasing. When the competition gets, say, less and less stiff, or a dominant player emerges, there can be somewhat of a monopoly. And that means that these individuals start to set the prices on the products and services. So where am I going with this? Here it is. 2 years ago, we had COVID-19. Right? 2 years ago, we had COVID-19. Recently, everybody's been an entrepreneur. Everybody's starting a business. You can throw a rock at a house and you'll find an entrepreneur. I guarantee it. Which means that the startup phase of businesses are rapid, but the startup phase is not forever. Which means the current market demand is for helping people get through the startup phase of business. Again, back to what Junior is talking about. The first thing you need to figure out is how to get money in the door, which is why you see an abundance of marketers, sales professionals, branding experts, because all of those things lean into getting money in the door. However, everybody that's serious right now, everybody that's making investments in themselves right now, everybody that's doing the work right now are not going to be in this same position in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And if a larger multitude of people transition or cross the chasm, then the demand in the market changes. And once the demand changes, that means that the abundance of services has it's liquefied, it depletes. And as it depletes, there's going to be market dominators, and they're going to be charging prices that you have to pay if you want to play. So the urgency piece is this. You have an opportunity to leverage branding like a leader. You could leverage marketing like a leader. You could leverage the entire brand experience and brand community here, or VAs, all the things that Junior is saying. Right now is the time to do it because it's the cheapest you'll ever get it. Because soon as the economy as a whole crosses the chasm, there will be a dominant player, and that dominant player will turn into an Apple. $1,000. I need it. I need it. Can't help you without it. I'm turning it back over to Junior. But the Nokias are out there right now. The Razer flip phones, they're out there right now. Get in while the getting is good, because once Apple establishes itself as the dominant service provider, stand by for iPhone prices.
Oh yeah, brother. Like urgency. Urgency is always there. Let me tell you something. And not just for this piece, but for your entire business. Speed. So check this out. If I was starting a fresh business today, here's what I would do. I wouldn't set up an LLC. I wouldn't go through any of that stuff. Business equals money in. Come up with an idea, execute with massive speed, get the money, then go legal. Speed, speed, speed to market is everything. Speed to market. I remember Mark Zuckerberg said something. He said that we move fast and we break things. Disruption sometimes requires you breaking things, and disruption requires speed. So I tell people this all the time, Bobby. Imagine like a plane. Let's talk about a plane. When a plane is taking off, when it's in the air, number one, the only reason a plane takes off from the runway is because of speed. If a plane is on a runway and it doesn't get up to a certain speed, it cannot physically, like by the laws of physics, it cannot take off. If you have an idea and you cannot execute or work on that idea with enough speed, by the laws of business, your idea will not take off. Your business will not take off. Now, when you're in the sky, when a plane is in the sky, if the engines shut off, the plane doesn't crash. The plane keeps going because it has momentum, because it has speed. Speed keeps you going. So even when your business is crashing, if you're moving with enough speed, meaning you're getting customers in, money's coming in, money's cash flow. Speed equals cash flow. If you're getting enough cash flow, even if your business is breaking, if you're getting the cash flow, you can sustain yourself up until a point where you could fix yourself. So maybe the engine has a little problem, right? But you have so much speed, you're flying so fast that you could make it for another couple miles. Give yourself some time, buy yourself some time to fix your plane so you continue the journey.
Mhm.
It goes back to what I was saying yesterday. People go out of business because they cannot make sales fast enough in volumes high enough at prices high enough. If you don't have money, money equals speed. If you don't have enough speed, if you don't have enough money, then you run out of business. So if somebody tell me, "Oh, I have a business idea," this is the thing, right? Somebody you have a business idea for a coaching business. Oh, let me think about it. Let me wait for 6 months. And what happens? Imagine, Bobby, I spoke with somebody in October last year. I
Yeah.
said, "Hey, let's get started." We're now in March
Yeah.
2023, and guess what? They still haven't gotten started. Why? Now is not the right time. Let me think about it. Give me a little time to check my numbers. Okay, I'll see you 2024. I'll see you in
Right.
2024. Yo, if you
Right.
sit on a business idea for a few months, you never take off. Try it. I dare anybody to try it. Sit on your business idea for a couple months. Say you want to be a coach. Say you want to get into sales. Say you want to build a brand and don't do it for a few months and see how long it takes you to do it. Because you're moving too slow.
Mhm.
Your business cannot take off just like a plane if you don't have enough speed. Speed, speed, speed. You need speed. It's a need for speed.
Yeah. Man, Junior, this is so good. I wish we had more time. I
Oh
wish we
yeah,
had
it's
more
that
time.
time
Like I
already.
know we got a little bit. We got a little bit, but when you talk about speed and we talk about marketing and we talk about disruption and innovation, I mean that just opened a can of worms because I think hesitation is destroying great businesses because you'll have an entrepreneur that's got a good idea. They've got a good opportunity, and you know the opportunity, the window of opportunity is ever fleeting. So if they miss their window of opportunity, they're hit. So I think that many entrepreneurs fail in the startup phases, like those that don't even get really going. They fail due to a lack of speed, and the speed has to do with the building of the business. It has to do with the making of the investments, and I believe it has to do with the making of decisions. So the building of the business, the making of investments, and the making of decisions. So I think that's just very interesting how speed is integral to getting a business off the ground and really driving it forward. So the thing that I'll say here and then turn it back over to you, Junior, is what I forget what NASCAR driver said it, but he said if you're in complete control of the car, you're not going fast enough. I thought that
Mm.
was really cool because when you're building a business, it should feel very similar. Like you should be kind of trying to keep this thing going. And it's in that rattling and in that turbulent experience that you really learn your vehicle. And I really recommend people write that one down. That's an analogy that has served me for about 4 years now is learn your vehicle. Learn you as an entrepreneur are a vehicle. Your business as a entity is a vehicle. Your industry is traversing and it's a vehicle. So you kind gotta know your vehicle, but one of the best ways to know it is to push it. And too few of us push ourselves to the limits, our business to the limits, or push our understanding of our market to the limits needed to learn. So that's very interesting.
Oh yeah, in fact, people like Dan Pena might say, like, if he asks you how's your business doing and you say everything is all right, he knows there's a problem. This, you're probably not doing anything. I think business is always, something's always breaking, man. It's just the nature of it. Because if you're growing, you're breaking stuff, you're fixing stuff, you're trying to do something different. See, like, you're gonna encounter problems. It's just the nature of the thing. It's just the nature of the thing. So I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So, but if you're moving fast, what I'm saying is you can survive. Now, don't get me wrong. You move fast, you execute fast. Doesn't mean you don't ideate. Doesn't mean you don't take some time to formulate a plan of action. So you plan, you prepare, then you execute. But the execution of the idea has to be super fast. The planning might take a little while, but the execution, like when you say, yeah, I'm ready, execute with lightning speed. So you take time to plan, but then when you execute, when you actually do the thing, just like boxing, and we'll end there. So people get knocked out because of speed, the speed of the punch. So a boxer, he might look at his opponent, he might be planning his moves. If you look at Mayweather, he's very patient, very patient. He might, block and play defense, etc., etc. But when he executes with massive speed. And that's the same way in business. So take time to plan, but when you do go to execute like it's nobody's business. Execute with massive, massive amounts of speed, and you should be good.
There it is.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming on, Bobby. Tomorrow we'll be talking about sales. This has
Yes.
been Breakfast with the Brand. And by the way, guys, if you want to connect with us, go to www.livedeepdive.com. We'll be there Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bobby, before we sign off, do you have anything that you'd like to share with the group?
Man, you crushed it. The only thing that I would like to reiterate for anybody that came on a little bit later is the 4 intersections. You said when you're trying to find that ideal client and know who they are, they're found on 4 intersections. You said you need to know who are you fitted to serve? What does the ideal client call themselves? What do the people want that you're trying to serve? And who can actually pay you? Biggest
Right.
takeaways for me. I think that was perfect. Now you have it.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, this has been Breakfast with the Brand. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's grow.